All right, so if you've clicked on this video, chances are you're probably curious on how you can make over $100,000 per year as a high ticket closer. And this is exactly what I've been able to accomplish. And no, in this video, I'm not going to be giving you a bunch of fluff and bluffing about how I came on this huge come up from a poor family. And no, I do not have a course to sell you. But my objective with this video is to tell you what I believe are the most important free closing tactics that allowed me to generate over $100,000 at just the age of 18. Now, for proof of concept that I actually know what I'm speaking about, from January 1st, 2023 to the 31st of January, I was able to gross £11,310, which is, and I netted just under £11,000, which is roughly about $14,000 USD. However, for context, I'm currently 20 years old. I turned 20 this year, June, which was 2020. It's 2024 right now. So I was about 18 years old in 6 months when I generated my first 10K month in pounds. Now, just before I get into everything, because I want to make this as transparent as possible, I want to cut straight to the chase. I don't want to waste your time. But just before I get into it, I want to mention that these free closing tactics that I'm going to be walking you through all tie into each other. And without all three of them, I don't think I would have been able to generate six figures. They all played a very huge and specific part in allowing me to generate this money. And I don't believe that you should take away from this video to implement just one or just two. I recommend you implement all three of them into your closing system, process, whatever, for you to be able to close more than 50% of the time. Okay? I recommend you implement all three of them. So please stick throughout the entire video. And by all means, like, if you're making more money than me right now, you might not even need this, but I'm sure this is also going to help you out. Now, just before we get into it properly, people believe that closing deals comes down to these shiny objects, whether that is scripts, phrases, or specific objection handles. And I'm here to tell you that is false. Okay? You've probably clicked on this video because you want the scripts, because you want the phrases. You want me to give you these shiny objects in order for you to, solve your problem. But I'm here to tell you that this is going to be a temporary fix for a very, very big problem. And the main way you fix it is by understanding that sales is actually about reasoning with the prospect on a logical and emotional level to get to the root of the problem they are having and trying to actively fix. So you hop on the sales call, and it's not about you saying this woohoo word, phrase, sentence, and then they're just going to magically start dancing, whipping their card out, and slapping their bum cheeks whilst they make the payment. That's not how it's going to work. Sales is they go on a call because they have a specific problem. And you, as a closer, have to identify that problem. And based on everything they have told you, you want to tie the product as the solution to their specific problem. So the product that you're selling has to alleviate their problem. If it doesn't alleviate the pain or it doesn't solve the problem, they are not going to buy. So the whole point of you as a closer is to identify that problem and be able to communicate the value over properly. That is the whole point of this. Now, moving straight into tactic number one, and this is actually a very, very common one, but I believe it's important for you to understand this, okay? So, the curious framework. Don't say things just to say things. Please, please do not do this, okay? Don't ask questions and just say, okay, and then move on to the next question. Please, for the love of God, don't do this. This is why I say don't follow a script, because a lot of people, you ask a question and you don't exactly understand why you're asking the question. And then a lot of problems happen when you ask these questions because you're saying, oh, what actually made you hop on the call in the first place? And then they tell you, and you go, okay. All right, so what do you know about XYZ? Dig deeper, bro. Dig deeper, okay? I'm going to go into how you can actually solve this. But the third thing is don't start the call by asking, how are you? Now, this is actually a pretty controversial one, but you have to build rapport with the prospect. And the number one way you ruin that, in my opinion, is by asking questions you don't care about the answers to. The chances are that the person hopping on the call you have never met, you know nothing about apart from their name, their phone number, and probably their email. And you don't care how they are. You don't know who they are. So why would you care how they are? And what's funny is you ask him, how are you? And not only do you not care about the answer he's going to give, he knows you don't care about the answer he gives. And that's the worst part about it, because this creates this like disingenuous vibe to the call. And you're just kind of asking him questions just to kind of build his trust to then just sell him something at the end of the call. And he knows that's about to happen because you just asked him a very disingenuous question. So you want to be as genuine as you can. What I actually do to bypass this, and I recommend you do this the same thing. So instead of asking how are you, when you hop on the call, check their phone number and type in their phone number into the like plus whatever and then country code. And like let's say +44 is United Kingdom, +40 is gonna be Romania, or like +39 is gonna be Italy. You know, if you learn these, like what +371 or +370, I believe is Lithuania, you know, if you learn these and they have their phone number on the application, you can simply just ask them, oh, bro, so I see your +370 Lithuania, right? And that, are you from Vilnius? Oh, nice, nice, nice. You know, and you build rapport that way and you string conversation from there because they are going to be telling you, oh, yeah, I am from Lithuania. Oh, how did you know? Oh, you know, I saw your phone number. So not only do you sound like you actually care, and you probably do actually care if you showed the interest, you know, you went that extra mile to find out where they're from based off their phone number, but you also don't look like a dumbass in the call. It makes you look just that tiny bit more intellectual because you kind of know where they're from based off their phone number country code. You know what I mean? It's a pretty smart way of building rapport. And last but not least, don't ask questions for the sake of asking them. I mean, we've already kind of covered this, but every question you ask has to have an intention behind it. You want to hear the answers, okay? If someone says their dog died, you know, if you don't care about what dog it was, don't ask what dog it was. Just say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. You know, and then just kind of move on. As bad as that sounds, don't ask questions you don't want answers to. You want to sound as genuine and as transparent on the call as possible because the more disingenuous you sound, the more sales resistance you're going to build up. Now, on to the positives. You do want to ask questions that allow the prospect to open up. You do want to dig deeper into the problems/pains your prospect actually tells you. Okay, this is a big one. Because when you ask what actually made you hop on that call in the first place, which is actually the next point, identify why the prospect is even on that call in the first place. You want to understand why they're on that call in the first place. And once you ask, all right, bro, so obviously you booked in the school, you showed up. I'm just curious, what actually got you on the call in the first place? The main reason you want to know this is because if they had two Lambos in the garage, they had a beautiful wife, they had beautiful kids, and they had a beautiful family. They're happy, you know, they do whatever the hell they want. They quite literally live the dream life. They're not going to hop on that call because there's no reason for them to. They're comfortable. The only reason people hop on their call is to alleviate some type of pain or to get more information on how they can solve XYZ problem. And obviously that problem causes them pain. So you want to understand why. And then you want to dig deeper into why. So if they say, oh, so why actually made you hop on the call in the first place? And then go, oh, yeah, you know, actually, I'm currently like booking like 1 to 2 appointments like per day. And I'm just trying to find out how I can honestly book more. All right, so what do you think is the main thing kind of stopping you from booking more appointments right now? You know, dig deeper into why they're not achieving dream state, which is the next one. Find out what's actually driving them to achieve dream state. Why do they want to book 10 appointments per day? Why do they want to reach that mark? You know, what are they being driven by? Do they just really want to retire their parents? Have they just gone through a breakup and they're in so much pain that they want to channel that all towards business? Do they have a newborn on the way that they want to provide for? You know, are they preparing for their wedding? You know, him and his spouse's wedding, her and her spouse's, his spouse's wedding, and he's just trying to fund it. You know, what's actually driving him to make that or achieve that XYZ result? And last but not least, figure out what problem on the call they're actually trying to fix, because no one's going to hop on the call just to faff around unless they're a window shopper. But it very rarely happens. Most often than not, people hop on the call to fix a problem, and you need to identify what that problem actually is. So this is kind of an example that's going to help you understand just a tiny bit more what I'm speaking about. Okay, so in real life, when you go to a doctor's appointment, the doctor doesn't usually prescribe medication right away. You know, they will examine and analyze the problem, dig deeper, and get to the root of the problem to then figure out a solution, which in this case is probably a prescription. Now, it's the same thing here. When you go to a doctor's office and you say, oh, doctor, my neck hurts, he's not going to be like, all right, just take this. That'll fix it. You know, he usually goes, all right, so if you tilt your head to the left, does that hurt? If you tilt your head to the right, does that hurt? Okay. What if you look left? Does that hurt? What if you look right? Does this hurt? Where does it hurt? You know, if I put my palm to the back of your head, can you push your head backwards? Does that hurt? How much? On a scale from 1 to 10, how much does that hurt? Do you understand? They're digging deeper into understanding what the actual root cause of the problem is. And based off that, they will prescribe the solution. And in this case would be always prescription or physiotherapy or something to solve the problem. So it's the same thing that you want to do. You want to examine what the problem is, dig deeper into what actually causes the problem, and then figure out the solution and propose the product as the actual solution to the problem that they're having. Now, tactic number 2, which is the harsh truth to objections. So, first things first, these are not real objections. I need to think about it. I need to check my bank account. I need to run this past my spouse, my business partner, my parents. Just send me the info and I'll get back to you. Now's not a good time for me to take action, I'm not going to lie. I'm not ready to commit. I left my card in my car. I left my card in my house. I left my card at work. I left my card at my dad's house. Anything to do with that, not a real objection. If they're just asking more questions about how it will work for them, that just clearly shows that you just haven't done enough explaining, I guess. And last but not least, I've tried similar things. What actually makes you different? But none of these are real objections. They are, don't get me wrong, but it really just boils down to these 3 things, which is money, fear, and value. So all of these 9 things that I've just listed right here, they are otherwise money, fear, or value. They could be money and fear. They could be fear and value. They could be just value. They could be just money. But it's your job to identify which of these 3 it is, or even if it's all of them 3, okay? But let's say they just can't afford it. They are super sold on the product. They're not even scared to take action. They know it's going to work for them, and they can see the value, obviously. But it's just money that's the problem. What you can do is you can offer a payment plan, okay? And this could be like, I don't know, pay half now, half next month, pay a 3-month payment plan, a 6-month payment plan. So if it's a $10,000 product, you can offer for them to pay $5,000 now and $5,000 next month. You can offer them to pay $3,333 this month, and then that 2 more times or for 2 more months. Or you can ask them to pay $1,600 per month for 6 months. Offer a payment plan that's suitable for them. And the next point is find a suitable way for them to actually still enroll. So if a payment plan doesn't really work for them or something like that, if you can implement an offer like this, say something like, all right, bro, so we can get you in for this much, but you only pay back the rest once you start driving results, or once we start driving results for you. How does that sound? If you're able to do this, even better, because it's just going to incentivize the prospect to take action. And last but not least, if they genuinely do not have the money and they're not in a position to actually get inside, set a deposit if nothing else is possible. I cannot tell you how powerful deposits are. Now, the psychology behind deposits is once they leave a deposit. So let's say it's a $3,000 product and they left a $100 deposit. Yes, they do still have another $2,900 to pay off, but now they've just spent $100 on quite literal thin air. And they've locked their spot in and they've showed that they're serious. Obviously, this is a very clear sign of commitment to actually getting inside and they're actually serious. But now they're financially invested, and the chances of them going back and telling you, oh, bro, I actually can't get inside, 3,000 is just too much for me, is very unlikely because they've already spent $100. Like, there's actual no logic to this because they've only spent like 3% of the full price. But because they're $100 down and they've got nothing for those $100, they are just now obliged to pay off the other $2,900. And it just kind of locks them in and it shows that they're serious. And the chances of them turning around and saying that they don't want to get in anymore is very unlikely. Whereas if you don't set the deposit, there's a very high chance that they might just turn around, in like a week or like a couple of days and just be like, you know what, bro, I think $3,000 is just a bit too much for me. I don't know if I'm going to get inside right now, maybe next month. So if you can lock in a deposit, it's going to be so, so powerful. Try it. If you can't get them to payment plan or find a suitable way for them to still get in on that call, deposit, please. It's made me so much money and it's going to make you so much money as well. Number 2 is fear. Okay, so they are too scared to take action. The best way you can go around this is obviously mention your refund guarantee. Now, if you don't have this, please implement this into your own product if you have your own product. If you're working for a client, please tell your client to implement this. And you should probably mention this whilst you're mentioning the price. But if you haven't already, please mention this as well as an objection handle. Refund guarantees are like the best thing possible. For our own offer, we literally have, if you do not make money, we will send you $500, and we'll give you free training if you don't actually drive results. So refund guarantees are huge, okay? And we actually ensure that we do that. So we're kind of putting ourselves at a loss if you don't drive results. And it works very, very well. It's a no-brainer offer. If I said that Actually, I'm gonna get into this just a little later, but run through some case studies as well. You're supposed to do this throughout the call, but if you haven't already, run through case studies again. It really, really helps, because people, honestly, they just make decisions based off what other people make decisions on. And if they can see proof of concept that people have actually driven results and they've made money, or they've got an XYZ desired result that they're desiring, it's just going to make them actually want to take action. And make sure to bombard them with case studies. You can do this in the sales process even before the call, but if you can bombard them with just a crap ton of case studies, it's just gonna honestly just really eliminate that fear aspect, because they're gonna be like, I know this works. Like, there's no way they can fake 100 testimonials. Identify the root cause of the actual problem. Now, I'm gonna get into this a little later because I actually have a very good example for this. But the last but not least is implement an element of safety. Now, this one's actually a big one because safety is one of the biggest things that stops people from buying. And I think fear in of itself is probably the most common objection you're actually going to get. But the only reason people are scared is because there's no safety. There's very rare you can get safety or trust people online. And if I said to you right now, bro, if you put down $1,000, but you will make $10,000 next month, like guaranteed, like 100%, like, God is going to give you that $10,000. You're undoubtedly going to get that $10,000. Would you put $1,000 down? Of course you would, right? But the only reason you wouldn't, if someone asked you to on a sales call, is because you don't trust them enough yet. There's not enough safety. There's nothing to really back up that you will actually drive the results. So you have to find ways to provide that safety, whether that's with case studies, whether that's with the refund guarantee, whether that is with just honestly just providing as much credibility as you possibly can. Okay? Safety is the biggest thing. If you can eliminate this, you don't even have to do this in a closing call. Even in the sales process, safety is what's going to honestly make you a lot of money as well. And last but not least, and I really hope you don't get this one. You will rarely get this one, but if you do, for the reasons that I'm stating below, you're in a pretty bad position. But obviously, value is they just don't see the value in your product. So first off, your product's crap. This is the one you really don't want to have. Like, please, if you have this, change your offer. Whether that is your own product, improve your own product. If it's your client's product, find a new client or mention to your client that he needs to improve his product, because this is the one you really don't want to be having. Okay? So we don't want this. But you will very rarely get it's not for them. So if you're selling lead generation services and somebody hops on that call and says, yeah, I'm already booking like 15 appointments per day. They don't need your lead gen services. They're already booking in like more than enough appointments for them to be making $1 million per year. Multiple millions per year. They don't need your help. They could be making 10 million per year. They don't need your help as a lead generation agency that makes less than 10K a month. Okay? So sometimes the product you're offering is just not for them. And that's perfectly fine. If this is the case, the best thing you can do is dig deeper into why they don't see the value and feedback. Try to get some feedback. If someone says, I generally just don't see the value, I could probably recreate it myself. Even if your product's crap, get some feedback. Because at the end of the day, the product you're selling doesn't have to be built on what the business owner, what you think is valuable. It has to be built on what the people buying think is valuable. You're not building a product for you to buy it. You're building a product for other people to buy it. So you have to build it on what they think is going to be valuable to them. So always try to get feedback. Feedback, you can't go wrong with feedback. This won't harm you. Getting feedback is the best thing you can possibly do. But if someone says that they don't see the value in the product, it's very hard to change that mind, because usually their ego's in the way and they're very set on the fact that they don't see the value. And always, as I said, it's always this one. It actually should be an X, or it's this one. It's either one of these. There's no in between. So I hope you don't have this one, but the most common ones are these two right here. So you have money and then you have fear. Sometimes you will have both. So some person might have like just about enough money, so if, like, let's say something you're selling is 3,000 and they have 3,050 in their bank account, they're going to be driven by fear. So they have the money and they can just about afford it, but fear is going to be the biggest one. And you want to eliminate that fear by solidifying the safety, providing case studies, refund guarantees, so on and so forth. And coming back to the point I was making earlier, which is identifying the root cause of that fear. This is something one of my students, Dom, was able to do, who makes currently about $4,000 a month as a closer. He's currently traveling the world. He's going to Thailand in a couple of months. I think it's next month he's going to Thailand. He just came back from Cyprus as well. But the best thing is he's able to do this as a closer online, completely remotely. However, he was taking a call and he hit me up obviously after the call saying that he closed this deal. But the way this happened was he explained everything to the prospect. The prospect was super, super down. And as the prospect was quite literally whipping his card out, he says, "Oh man, I forgot my card in my car." And he goes, "All right, so is this a money issue that's kind of stopping you? Or like, be completely honest to me, is it just fear? Like, are you just kind of scared to take action?" And he was like, "Yeah, if I'm being honest, bro, I don't know if I can do this right now. I just kind of need to, can I think it over and get back to you?" And Dom was like, "Look, so you want to make money online and you've joined this call to take this action and you know what you need to do. And you know that the only thing stopping you from reaching the desired outcome that you have of reaching $10,000 per month is you. You are stopping yourself right now. So are you confident this is going to drive results for you?" "Yes." "Okay, cool. So you're confident it's going to drive results. You know it's driven results for others. What is really stopping you from taking action?" "I think I'm just scared, bro." "Okay, cool. So do you not think this is a you problem? Like you are kind of stopping yourself from making yourself successful or making yourself fulfilled with the results you're going to achieve?" "Yeah." "Ah, you know what, bro? F it. I'm gonna just take action." And what Dom just did there was identify where that fear was coming from. He identified that the person was just genuinely scared. He had the money, so this was a tick, but he was scared to take action. And he just asked him a couple questions that solidified and made him understand that he is the only thing, or he's the only thing that's stopping himself from taking action. And he mentioned it to him, and he agreed, and he just took it on the chin and went, "You know what? F it, I'm gonna take action." And he bought. And Dom was able to close his deal right here. And super, super proud of him. Dom, if you're watching this, bro, good fucking shit. But nonetheless, I just thought that was very, very important to mention because this is probably going to be one of the biggest things that you will need to understand on a sales call when someone doesn't want to buy, especially if your product's like amazing and your offer is amazing and you have this in place and you have this in place and you have hundreds of these. So that's not even an issue. It's just mostly people stopping themselves. And that's another thing as a salesman or as a closer. You are just simply helping people understand that it's themselves stopping themselves from being successful or achieving XYZ outcome. All right. So tactic number 3, which is the last one. Okay. The prospect wants to feel like they are speaking to a real human and also having a generic conversation rather than like a cat and mouse sales vibe. So a lot of people bring this vibe to the sales call where it's like, all right, you're the mouse, which is the prospect, and you're going to buy, and I'm the cat, and I'm the salesman, and I'm just going to pitch, sell, and then you're just going to whip out your card and start slapping your bum cheeks whilst dancing, whilst typing in the card information, and then boom, you've just paid me $10,000. It doesn't work like that. Humans want to have generic conversation with other humans, okay? Us as humans, we want to feel special. And the number one way to ruin that is by automating or taking the easy way / lazy way out with things. We don't want to automate things. And these are some examples, okay? Automated outreach always gets no responses. Have you ever like gotten an outreach on Instagram from someone who just sent you this huge paragraph that you know they copy and pasted? Do you even react to that? No. Then you have AI chat support. So if you have, I don't know, your flight got cancelled, okay, and you want to get a refund for it, and you go into the support chat and it's an AI bot, not a human, not like an agent, an AI bot. Do you want to be speaking to them? No. Why? Because it's automated. It's not personalized to you. This AI is not going to understand your situation. He's not going to understand your struggle. He's not going to understand your pain. Okay? He's just going to be like, all right, I've been told to say XYZ, so I'm just going to say XYZ, and then just copy and paste what they say to every other person that has the same issue. And last but not least, restaurant automated tipping. So you know when you go to a restaurant and one waiter serves you, but then you go up to the table, to the counter to pay, and another person who you didn't even say hi to when you first walked in gives you the credit, the card machine, and it says just before you can pay, it says, do you want to tip like 10%, 15%, 20%? You know, I certainly don't, and I don't know anybody else that does want to tip. You know, let's say even in this situation, the waiter was super, super cool to me. You know, he was a super cool guy. You know, if I'm going to tip him, I'm going to tip him myself personally with cash. I'm not going to go to a card machine and tip the whole restaurant. I'm tipping him, not the restaurant. Who wants to be tipping automated? And besides, I don't want to be asked for tips. I'm going to tip you if I believe you deserve a tip. I'm not going to tip you if you just ask. You're going to get paid anyways for the work you do. You know, tipping is a kind gesture, not a mandatory thing for you to do. Although I do think it definitely gets you very, very far. And if you have the money and, you know, if you have the generosity and you have the kindness in your heart, I definitely do condone you tip. But I hate the automated tipping in restaurants. I think it's so useless. And I definitely never, ever go for it. Like, as I said, if a waiter's super, super nice to me and then I go up to the counter to pay and it's not even that waiter that's pulling out the card thing, and then it says, do I want to tip? No, I don't. Who am I tipping? Anyways, I'm getting pretty frustrated speaking about that because it annoys me. But we humans like just personalization. We naturally like that. So the last thing you want to be doing is reading a script. Do not read a script, okay? People think sales is a sleazy woohoo magic phrases stringed in a sentence and the prospect magically buys, but that is wrong. Sales is about learning human nature and behavior and being able to understand what's actually stopping them from buying or achieving a desired result. That is what sales is. That's not meant to be an S there. But we want to understand why they're on that call and how the product that we're selling is going to help them achieve that result. Not, I'm going to say a bunch of woohoo magic phrases stringed in a sentence and they're going to automatically just buy. It never works like that. So the best thing you can do as a salesman is hear what your prospect has to say and ask questions to dig deeper and understand why they are not at their desired state and how the product you're selling can help them achieve that. That is the biggest thing. You want to help your prospect. You are the authority figure. You are the person who's going to help them, the expert, and that you want to help them, not just say a bunch of stuff that some guru online told you to say and hoping to fix the issue. And you're not even solving the problem, but they're just going to buy it anyways because you said this woohoo phrase. It doesn't work like that. We're humans. We can understand when someone's being disingenuous or when someone's trying to scam us or when someone doesn't even know what they're talking about. So, side note, just before I end off this video, empathy and asking questions is what will guarantee the close, not the shiny objects like the phrases or the sentences people tell you to say. So this, forget about this. This, empathy and asking questions is what will make you a lot of money. Empathy, asking questions that you can actually empathize on is what's going to make you a lot of money. If you ask questions that you actually care about the answers to, that's what's going to make you the money. And if you can actually show that you care about the prospect and actually care about solving their problem, that's where they're going to feel like you're actually genuine, you're being fully transparent with them, and they will want to give you their money because they believe that you can actually solve their problem for them. So that's been that, okay? I hope this was super, super valuable for you. If you want to learn exactly how I do this myself, and I've coached over 200 people how to do this myself, I'll leave a link in the description for you to check out. There's a video for you to watch. I'll walk you through how everything works and how working with me will actually generate you results a lot faster. No worries. There's no pressure for you to click that link below. I genuinely do not care. But other than that, I sincerely thank you for watching until the end of the video. I believe a lot of people don't actually watch until the end of the video, and that's completely fine. But if you have, bro, I fucking love you. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. So please like, subscribe. It will help me out a lot. And if you need any help, if you have any questions with anything I covered, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. I will reply to every single comment. I want to help you guys as much as possible. And at the end of the day, I thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. Have a great rest of your day.